Have you ever believed you were doing everything right, taking daily walks, avoiding junk food, getting your 8 hours of sleep, yet somehow, your energy still dwindled, your legs felt weaker, and standing from a chair seemed harder than before? You're not alone. For years, walking has been praised as the perfect exercise for older adults. Doctors recommend it, articles glorify it, retirement communities build entire routines around it. And yes, walking is good for your heart, your circulation, your mental clarity. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Walking is not enough. Not after 65. Not if you want to stay strong, mobile, and pain-free in your 70s, 80s, and beyond. As someone who's spent over 30 years studying the aging body, interviewing geriatric experts, analyzing movement decline, and most importantly, listening to the real stories of older adults, I can tell you, mobility doesn't fade overnight. It fades from habit, from repetition, from believing that small, insufficient motion is enough. Why this video is urgent. Every year, tens of thousands of older adults suffer falls, fractures, and chronic pain, not because of illness or accident, but because their muscles silently atrophied while they walked. Yes, while they walked. How? Because walking doesn't rebuild the muscles that aging breaks down. It doesn't challenge your balance. It doesn't lubricate your joints. It doesn't correct posture. And it certainly doesn't prepare you to get up after a fall. But what if I told you that there are 5 types of exercises, simple, safe, and proven, that can do exactly that? And no, you don't need a gym membership, a personal trainer, or a young body to begin. You just need to know what to do, and how to do it with purpose. What this video will give you, and why you must watch until the end. In this video, I'll walk you through 5 powerful exercises that go far beyond walking. Exercises that gently build real muscle strength without harming joints. Improve balance and coordination to reduce fall risk. Increase flexibility and reduce stiffness. Enhance confidence in daily movement. And most surprisingly, ease chronic pain you've grown used to. One of these exercises, number 4, is a hidden gem recommended by leading physiotherapists across the world, but barely talked about in public circles. Why? Because it's deceptively simple, but remarkably effective. If you truly care about maintaining your independence, staying out of the and living the rest of your life with freedom instead of fear, then I urge you to stay with me until the very last second of this video. You see, when I was a younger researcher, I once believed the lie too, that as long as my parents walked daily, they were active enough. That illusion cost my father a broken hip at 72. He wasn't sick, he wasn't frail, but years of relying on walks alone had quietly weakened his legs and dulled his balance. One misstep on a curb, and everything changed. From that moment, I made it my life's mission to uncover what truly works for aging bodies, not what's convenient, not what's popular, but what's real. If you felt tired lately, stiff when waking up, nervous on stairs, or just not as strong as you once were, please don't brush it off as just age. Aging is inevitable, but decline is optional. And if you've made it here, you're already doing something most people never do. You're questioning, you're seeking, you're ready to reclaim control. So before we begin, take a moment now to do 3 things. Like this video to tell the algorithm that elder health matters. Subscribe to Daily Elder Advice if you care about living well, not just living long. Comment below with a simple, "I'm here," if you've ever wondered whether walking alone was really enough. Your voice might inspire someone else to stay and listen. Because today, we begin a journey not just of movement, but of meaningful movement. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Water Exercises. The Silent Healer. The quiet power of water. Imagine stepping into a warm pool, not to swim laps or race, but simply to move again without pain. For many older adults, that first moment of weightlessness in water feels like coming home to a version of themselves they had forgotten. Mobile, free, confident. Why does water matter so much? Because aging often comes with resistance. Our joints resist bending, our muscles resist movement, our minds even begin to resist change. But in water, resistance becomes an ally, not an enemy. Buoyancy cradles the body while subtle pressure from the water supports every joint. In water, a geriatric physical therapist once told me, people rediscover who they were before the pain. That is the magic of aquatic exercise, not just its effectiveness, but its emotional liberation. According to a study published by the Arthritis Foundation, older adults who participated in water-based exercise 3 times a week reported a 40% reduction in joint pain, along with improved sleep, mobility, and mood, unlike walking on concrete or asphalt, which compresses knees, hips, and ankles. Moving in water minimizes impact and maximizes range of motion. The hydrostatic pressure also promotes circulation and reduces inflammation, making it ideal for seniors with arthritis, osteoporosis, post-surgical stiffness, chronic back pain, balance disorders. In other words, for many older adults, the pool becomes a sanctuary, not a workout room. Real-life story: Linda's return to herself. Linda was 70 when her body began betraying her. Once a brisk walker who strolled her neighborhood with ease, she started feeling pain in her knees that made every step feel like a negotiation. She stopped walking, she sat more. And with each passing month, she not only lost strength, she lost something deeper, her spirit. Her daughter, noticing the change, begged her to try water exercises. Linda resisted. "I'm not a swimmer," she said, "and I don't want people staring at me in a swimsuit." But one Tuesday morning, hesitant and holding onto the railing, she stepped into the community pool's shallow end. She started slow, just walking waist deep in water. One step, then another, then side steps, then gentle leg lifts. Within 2 weeks, she noticed less knee pain. A month later, she could bend more easily. By month 3, she was sleeping through the night for the first time in years. Linda didn't just return to movement, she returned to herself. How to begin? Even if you're nervous, you don't need to swim or wear goggles. In fact, the best water exercises for older adults don't even require you to get your hair wet. Here are 3 simple routines you can start with. 1. Water walking. Find a pool with waist or chest deep water. Walk forward, then sideways, then backward. Try for 5 to 10 minutes at a gentle pace. Focus on upright posture and relaxed breathing. 2. Leg lifts in the pool. While holding the pool wall, lift one leg straight out in front of you. Hold for 2 to 3 seconds, then lower. Repeat 10 times per leg. This strengthens the thighs and improves balance. 3. Arm circles and pushes underwater. Extend arms out to your sides and make slow circles. Push water forward and back like you're washing invisible windows. This builds gentle resistance and strengthens shoulders without strain. Bonus: floating stretches. Lie on your back with a flotation device under your neck or knees. Let your spine decompress while gently rotating your ankles or wrists. Why most people don't try and why they should. Many older adults avoid water exercise for 3 reasons. 1. Shame or self-consciousness. I don't want to be seen in a bathing suit. 2. Fear of falling. What if I slip in the pool? 3. Lack of access. There's no pool near me. But let's flip the script. Nobody in the pool is judging you. They're all there for the same reason: to heal. Water is one of the safest environments for movement. If you're nervous, begin at a community center with lifeguards or a therapist. If you don't have a pool, consider hydrotherapy programs, or call your local YMCA. Many offer senior-specific aquatic sessions at reduced costs. The lesson of Chapter 1. Walking on land is wonderful, but walking in water restores what land took away. It builds strength, balance, coordination, and emotional confidence, all without punishment. If your joints hurt, if you're afraid to fall, if you miss the feeling of graceful motion, water may be the key. And it doesn't take much. Just 15 to 20 minutes a few times a week could be the difference between struggling through pain and rediscovering joyful movement. So, what's holding you back? If you agree that water exercise is a gentle but powerful way to heal and stay strong, comment the number 1 below. Your voice might just inspire someone else to give it a try. And before we move on to the next chapter, Let me gently remind you, if you found even one useful insight so far, there's so much more still to come. In the second half of this video, we'll talk about how eggs affect your blood sugar, your heart, your physical strength, and even the science behind why they might help you live longer. If you're enjoying this journey, please take a second to click the subscribe button. It means the world to us, and it helps more people like you discover life-changing, age-wise advice. And I'd love to hear from you. What's one thing you've learned so far that surprised you? Leave a comment below with the number of the chapter that resonated most. Let's keep learning from one another. Chapter 2: Strength Training, Your True Insurance Policy. You've probably heard someone say, "I'm just not as strong as I used to be." Maybe you've said it yourself. But here's the hidden truth behind that statement. Muscle doesn't vanish because we age. It vanishes because we stop challenging it. After the age of 60, the average person loses up to 3% of muscle mass per year if they're inactive. This condition, known as sarcopenia, is a silent thief. It steals your strength, your balance, your confidence, and eventually, your independence. And yet, this is one of the most preventable parts of aging. While walking keeps your blood flowing, it doesn't engage the deep muscle fibers that stabilize your spine, power your legs, and help you rise from a chair without effort. That's where strength training comes in, not as a sport, but as a survival skill. According to the CDC and National Institute on Aging, seniors who engage in resistance training at least twice a week enjoy up to 34% lower risk of falls, stronger bones, reducing fracture risk, improved insulin sensitivity, reducing the risk of type 2 diabetes, better brain health, as strength training is now linked to delayed cognitive decline, and perhaps most importantly, greater autonomy in daily tasks. And here's the best part: you don't need a gym, expensive equipment, or even heavy weights. Real-life story: Mr. Richard reclaims his steps. Richard was 75 when he started noticing something strange. Sidewalks that used to feel stable suddenly seemed uneven. He caught himself reaching for walls and handrails. His fear of falling grew stronger than his desire to move. His doctor told him, "You're not sick. You're simply losing muscle." Reluctantly, Richard began strength training at home, using nothing more than a chair, a set of 2-pound dumbbells, and a resistance band. He started with sit-to-stand repetitions, standing up from a chair and sitting down without using his hands. Then he practiced arm raises with light weights, slowly building his upper body. By week 4, he could walk farther without needing to stop and rest. By month 2, he was confidently walking to the market without fear. Richard didn't just gain strength, he gained back his life. Simple strength exercises to begin at home. Here are 3 beginner-friendly exercises you can do at home with little or no equipment. 1. Chair squats, sit to stand. Sit in a sturdy chair with your feet flat on the ground. Cross your arms over your chest or extend them forward. Slowly stand up, then sit back down with control. Start with 5 to 10 repetitions. This strengthens the thighs and glutes, improving mobility and balance. 2. Wall push-ups. Stand facing a wall, arms extended, hands flat on the wall at shoulder height. Lower your body toward the wall by bending your elbows. Then push back. Start with 10 reps, gradually increasing. This builds upper body strength and supports posture. 3. Bicep curls with light weights or water bottles. Sit or stand, holding a light dumbbell or bottle in each hand. Curl your hands toward your shoulders, then slowly lower. Do 10 to 12 reps. Rest, then repeat. Great for grip strength, which is crucial for preventing falls and opening jars or doors. Expert advice: start slow. Stay steady. Dr. Valerie Mertz, a leading physical rehabilitation expert, says, "The biggest mistake seniors make is thinking they're too old to build strength. In reality, the older you are, the more your body craves resistance. It doesn't take much, just the right consistency and good form." Tips for success: begin with no weight at all, just body movement. Focus on form, not speed. Breathe deeply, Never hold your breath while lifting. Do 10 to 15 minutes, 2 to 3 times a week. And always, if you feel pain, not just soreness, stop immediately and adjust. The lesson of Chapter 2. Strength training is not about vanity. It's not about six-pack abs or bench pressing heavy iron. It's about rising from a chair with confidence, holding your grandchild safely, carrying your own groceries without calling for help, and living not just longer, but better. The body may grow older, but it doesn't have to grow weak. Give your muscles a reason to stay alive, and they will serve you for decades to come. If you agree that strength training is one of the most vital practices after 60, comment the number 2 below. Let us know you're here, and that you're ready to stay strong. Chapter 3. Tai Chi and Yoga. The Balance Restorers. Have you ever hesitated before stepping off a curb? Or needed to touch the wall while getting dressed? Or found yourself wobbling while simply reaching for something overhead? These tiny moments might seem harmless, but they're the earliest warning signs of something far more serious: loss of balance. And balance isn't just a physical issue, it's emotional. When we feel unsteady, we move less. When we move less, we grow weaker. And when we grow weaker, we lose the freedom to do the things we love. Balance is the first freedom to slip, and the last people notice. But there's good news: balance can be restored. And 2 ancient practices, Tai Chi and Yoga, have become modern medicine for aging bodies. According to a landmark study published in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity, older adults who practiced Tai Chi 3 times a week reduced their fall risk by 58% in just 6 months. That's not a typo, 58%. Why does it work so well? Because Tai Chi and Yoga strengthen the core and lower body muscles responsible for stability, increase body awareness, helping you sense your position in space, improve joint flexibility and reaction time, and calm the nervous system, reducing anxiety that causes hesitation. Unlike vigorous workouts, these exercises don't fatigue you, they awaken you. The body becomes more responsive, the mind becomes clearer, and movement becomes smoother. Real-life story: Eleanor and the garden she thought she lost. Eleanor, 72, loved gardening. Her hands knew the language of soil and sunlight. But after months of worsening back pain and stiffness, she stopped. Reaching for her tools became a burden. Even bending to check her roses felt like punishment. Her doctor recommended painkillers. Her daughter recommended yoga. At first, Eleanor resisted. "I'm not flexible," she said. "Yoga is for young people." But with gentle encouragement, she joined a beginner chair yoga class at the community center. She started with breathing exercises, then gentle spinal twists, then forward bends supported by the seat of a chair. After 3 weeks, she could touch her toes again. After 6, she returned to her garden, pain-free, more stable, and deeply empowered. Her roses weren't the only thing blooming, so was her confidence. How to start Tai Chi and Yoga safely at home. You don't need to twist yourself into a pretzel or memorize long sequences. Here's how to ease into these practices, even if you've never tried them before. 1. Simple breathing meditation, both Tai Chi and Yoga. Sit comfortably with a straight spine. Close your eyes and breathe in deeply for 4 seconds. Hold for 2 seconds, then exhale slowly for 6 seconds. Repeat for 5 minutes. This activates the parasympathetic nervous system, calming the body and brain. 2. Tai Chi arm flows. Stand with feet shoulder width apart. Slowly raise your arms as if lifting a balloon. Let them float down as if moving through water. Move in slow, rhythmic patterns, there's no rush. Just 10 minutes of this improves circulation and balance. 3. Chair yoga stretch. Sit in a sturdy chair. Reach your arms overhead and gently lean to one side. Hold for a breath. Come back to center and lean to the other side. Then, place your hands on your knees and gently twist your torso to the right, then to the left. These motions restore spinal flexibility and balance control. Why these practices are more than just movement. Tai Chi and Yoga aren't just physical disciplines. They are mind-body reintegration tools, especially powerful for older adults. Here's what happens when you commit to them. Your mind becomes calmer. Your breath becomes deeper. Your balance becomes second nature again. And your confidence? It grows quietly, from within. In one of my lectures, I once met a retired surgeon named Ruth. She told me, yoga gave me back the ability to trust my body. I hadn't felt that in decades. It's not just flexibility, it's faith restored. Why many seniors hesitate, and why you shouldn't. Let's address the common fears. I'm not flexible enough. That's exactly why you should start. I don't want to do this in front of others. Begin at home. Even 5 minutes in your living room can change how you feel. It seems too slow. In slowness, your body finds precision. Balance isn't about speed, it's about control. It looks complicated. Start simple. You don't need fancy poses. Just breathe, stretch, and move mindfully. The lesson of Chapter 3. Balance doesn't disappear in a single fall. It fades with every skipped step, every moment you hold the wall, every decision not to stretch. But it can be rebuilt. With breath, with flow, with presence. You don't need to do handstands or touch your toes. You just need to show up for your body. Even a small daily ritual of movement and breath can reconnect you to the strength within. If you believe that balance is as important as strength, and that it can be restored with mindfulness, comment the number 3 below. Your insight may help another senior reclaim their stability. Chapter 4. Cycling, the joint-friendly power booster. At some point, walking stops feeling refreshing and starts feeling punishing. You feel it in your knees first, then your hips, then a twinge in your ankles. That familiar sidewalk now feels like a battlefield, each step landing harder than the last. And even though you know you need to stay active, your body seems to say, not like this. This is the moment where most people give up. But what if I told you that you don't need to stop moving, just change how you move? Enter one of the most underrated, joint-friendly, and life-extending tools for people over 60. The stationary or recumbent bike. When you walk on hard ground, your knees, hips, and ankles bear the full weight of your body, over and over again. But when you cycle, especially on a stationary or recumbent bike, your legs stay active. Your heart gets pumping. But your joints get a break. It's what physical therapists call a closed chain, low-impact movement, ideal for older adults with arthritis, stiffness, or balance concerns. Scientific studies show that seniors who cycle regularly experience improved cardiovascular endurance by up to 20%, lower resting blood pressure, better knee mobility, increased leg strength and stamina, and perhaps most importantly, greater confidence to move without pain. Real-life story: Mr. Edward and the Road Back to Freedom. Edward, age 72, was always an early morning walker. But one winter, he slipped on an icy curb. No fracture, but his confidence cracked. He began walking less. His knees started to ache more often. Eventually, he could barely make it to the corner store without discomfort. That's when his son bought him a recumbent bike for his living room. At first, Edward scoffed. "I'm not a cyclist. I don't want to be stuck inside pedaling like a hamster." But on a rainy afternoon, with nothing else to do, he gave it a try. He cycled gently for 7 minutes. No pressure, no pain, no fear of falling. The next day, he did 10, then 12, then 15. 2 months later, Edward wasn't just stronger, he was sharper, sleeping better, and walking more confidently again. The bike didn't just help my knees. He told me, it helped me trust my body again. How to start, whether you're 60, 70, or 85, you don't need a fancy bike or a gym membership. Just follow these simple tips to begin cycling safely at home. 1. Choose the right type. Stationary upright bike. Great for those used to standard bikes. Engages the core more, but may strain the back. Recumbent bike. Reclined position with back support. Ideal for those with balance issues, arthritis, or lower back discomfort. 2. Start small. Stay consistent. Begin with just 5 to 10 minutes per session. Gradually build up to 20 to 30 minutes, 3 to 4 times a week. No need for heavy resistance or fast pedaling, steady and smooth is best. 3. Make it enjoyable. Watch your favorite TV show. Listen to music or audiobooks. Use it as quiet time to reflect or pray. Let cycling become a sanctuary, not a chore. Dr. Mikhail Anders, a senior cardiologist specializing in geriatric patients, says, cycling is a hidden gem. It's gentle on the joints, activates large muscle groups, improves oxygenation, and has profound effects on cardiovascular health. I prescribe it more than medication. He emphasizes that even 10 minutes of cycling a day can significantly lower stroke risk, regulate blood sugar, and improve mental clarity. Why most seniors don't try, and why they should. Let's address the hesitation. I haven't ridden a bike in decades. That's okay. You're not riding across town, just sitting and moving gently. I'm afraid I'll fall off. Use a stationary or recumbent bike. No balance needed, just sit and pedal. It sounds boring. Turn it into your me time. Pair it with something you enjoy. It becomes a ritual of strength. Remember, the goal isn't speed, it's sustainability. If you believe that cycling can be a second chance for movement in older age, comment the number 4 below. Your experience might encourage someone who's on the edge of giving up. Chapter 5: Chair-Based Movement, Strength and Simplicity. There comes a moment in life when something as simple as standing up from a chair becomes a challenge. You brace the arms, you rock forward, you push through your knees, you hold your breath. It doesn't happen overnight. It begins quietly, with stiffness in the morning, soreness in the hips, or fatigue after basic tasks. But it grows, and before long, you're avoiding stairs, hesitating to bend down, or needing help just to move around the house. For many older adults, this slow loss of movement feels like the beginning of the end. But here's the truth: it can also be the beginning of recovery. And that recovery can begin in the very same place the struggle started, your chair. Why chair-based exercises are a lifeline. Chair-based movements aren't just for the very frail. They're powerful tools for improving lower body strength, rebuilding core stability, restoring confidence in movement, enhancing circulation and joint flexibility, and most importantly, regaining independence. A major study published in the Journal of Geriatric Physical Therapy found that older adults who practiced chair exercises 3 times per week saw a 40% increase in mobility and a 30% reduction in fall risk in just 8 weeks. This is not passive stretching. These are functional exercises, designed to help you move better where it matters most, in your everyday life. Real-life story: Lauren and the fight for her freedom. At 74, Lauren lived with a quiet kind of frustration. Once a fiercely independent woman, she now needed help to get dressed, climb into the car, or even rise from the dinner table. She hated asking for assistance, but every attempt to move felt like failure. Then she discovered something simple: the sit-to-stand chair exercise. At first, she could barely manage 3 repetitions. Her legs trembled, her arms ached from gripping the seat. But she kept going. Every morning after tea, she added 1 more repetition. After 1 month, she could do 10. After 2, she stood without support. By the end of the 3rd month, she no longer needed help from her daughter to get up. "I didn't get younger," she said, smiling. "I just got stronger. 1 chair at a time." Chair exercises you can start today. You don't need a gym. You don't need special clothes. All you need is a sturdy chair with no wheels and a few minutes a day. 1. Sit to stand. Sit upright with your feet flat and arms crossed or extended forward. Press through your feet and slowly stand without using your hands. Sit down with control. Start with 5 to 10 repetitions. Builds thigh, hip, and core strength. 2. Seated leg lifts. Sit straight, hands on thighs. Slowly raise 1 leg, hold for 3 seconds, lower. Alternate legs. Do 10 to 15 reps each side. Great for circulation and leg muscle tone. 3. Arm raises and shoulder rolls. Raise your arms out to the sides or forward with light weights or water bottles. Follow with shoulder rolls forward and back, These increase upper body mobility and improve posture. 4. Side bends. Clasp hands together and stretch from side to side while seated. Focus on breathing and gentle motion. Helps loosen spine and stretch the obliques. Dr. Lisa Cheng, a geriatric movement specialist, puts it simply. The goal isn't fitness, it's function. If you can stand up, reach a shelf, or get out of bed without help, that's strength. Chair exercises aren't a compromise. They're a gateway to independence. She recommends seniors begin with 10 minutes daily, even while watching TV or listening to music. The real power of chair-based movement is its accessibility. You don't need to get ready to start, you just need to start. If you believe that strength starts with simplicity and every motion matters, comment the number 5 below. You might inspire someone to pick up their own strength, right from their chair. So many of us have been told that walking is enough. That simply putting one foot in front of the other will keep us healthy, strong, and safe in our later years. But today, perhaps you've come to realize what I've learned through decades of working with older adults. Walking is only the beginning. To truly stay vibrant, pain-free, and independent, we must move with intention, with variety, and with heart. Whether it's the quiet power of water, the strength gained from lifting our own bodies, the balance returned through Tai Chi, the gentle cycling that restores our confidence, or the simplicity of chair-based motion, each one offers not just physical benefits, but emotional healing as well. These are not just exercises. They are small revolutions, gentle rebellions against decline. Each movement is a statement. I am still here. I still choose to live fully. Aging is not about surrendering, it's about adapting, about listening, and about loving the body that has carried you through every chapter of your life. You are not weak. You are not done. You are still capable of growing stronger, steadier, and more alive than ever, starting exactly where you are, even if that's right there in your favorite chair. What matters most is not how fast you move, or how many repetitions you complete, it's that you keep choosing movement over stillness, progress over fear, and self-care over resignation. If this message touched you, I invite you to take just one action today. Choose one of the exercises we shared, and try it, just 5 minutes. Then come back and tell us in the comments. Your story might be the spark that lights someone else's journey. And if you feel this video reminded you that you are still strong, still valuable, and still growing, then please consider subscribing to Daily Elder Advice. This is more than a channel, it's a community of people just like you, walking together into a more empowered tomorrow. Remember, you don't stop moving because you grow old. You grow old because you stop moving. So keep moving, my friend. I'll see you in the next video.